So this is gonna be my Invincible series review. Season 4 just ended about like a week, 2 weeks ago. So, I love the Invincible memes, but I keep seeing like little bits of spoilers. Personally, I hate spoilers. I can't do it. So since the season 4 finale, I just started reading it. Like right where it left off, I just started reading it from there. Um, I want to say that. So I'll break it down into like the arcs. The Dinosaurus arc. They started season 4 off with Dinosaurus. I'm thinking he was just about to be like some goofy villain of the week. I'm thinking he's about to be like the Mauler twins, like the two blue dudes, and they come back here and there. I'm assuming the next season is going to start off with him blowing up Las Vegas, which is crazy, like the entire Las Vegas. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So he did that. He turns himself in. Then couple little things happen here and there, and then Invincible like, man, I can just do whatever I want. I'm a free Dinosaurus because what he did was bad. Like people died, like it was bad, but good came out of it. So he went, broke Dinosaurus out, starts working with Dinosaurus like a partner. And that was like interesting. I'm like, all right, I don't know where they're going with this, but this is good. So while that's happening, Alan he finds out that the Viltrumites are on Earth, I think from Omni-Man or something like that. And he like, nah, I'm just using a virus. Like people on Earth might die too, but the Viltrumites are crazy. So he goes, Alan and Oliver go to Earth. They about to unleash the Scourge virus. They tell Mark like, ain't no way I'm letting that happen. Then Alan like, you really don't got no backup. What you gonna do? And then Thrag pull up like, nah, he got me. That was crazy. Awesome. There's at least 10 moments throughout the comic run from where season 4 ended that were like jaw dropping, like, whoa, this is crazy. So that happens. Thrag pulls up. Oliver tries to like run the virus to Earth, which is crazy. Mark tries to stop him, and while trying to stop Oliver, he gets hit with the virus. So, fast forward a little bit. Mark's healing, he loses his powers. While Mark's healing, Dinosaurus, they get the Viltrumites, Thrag, they healing on the Viltrumite ship. They bring Dinosaurus and he starts finding stuff about the Viltrumites, and something happened. They were like doing tests on Mark, and he had like royal blood, like him, Omni-Man, they like royalty. And Thrag was like, nah, if people find out, they're not gonna let me run things. He tried to kill Mark. Dinosaurus saves him, which is crazy. First of all, Dinosaurus even fighting Thrag, like he was getting beat up, but he succeeded in saving Mark. They got out the ship. Dinosaurus is awesome at this point. I'm like, this dude is wow. I didn't even know he was this crazy. So they get off the ship. Mark loses his powers for a while, and Omni-Man, like Thrag confronts Omni-Man. They start fighting. Thrag gets the upper hand, but then the other Viltrumites are around. Like they fly to space. Something happens. They're around, and they like, yo, what's going on here? And they find out Omni-Man is royalty pretty much, and they start beating Thrag up. And I'm like, whoa! I thought Thrag was. Especially after the season finale, I thought none of the Viltrumites would be able to like mess with him. So they jump Thrag, beat him up. They eat captured, and Omni-Man is the Grand Regent now. So I'm like, whoa, Nolan, I didn't see that coming. I'm glad I'm reading this. Didn't see that happening. So Omni-Man's the Grand Regent. He lets Thrag go because he's trying to turn over a new, I forgot what you call it, like. He's trying to show the Viltrumites another way. So they let Thrag go and go off, do whatever he wants, which is obviously a mistake. Even Thrag was like, I remember Nolan was like, oh, we're going to let you live or something like that. He said, man, the best thing you can do is kill me now. Because I was like, yo, this dude is a gangster. So Thrag's off. Dinosaur. So while all this is going on, Dinosaurus Mark doesn't have his powers and things like that. And what's the black dude with the cornrows, Bulletproof? He takes off the mantle of Invincible, which is cool. We get his backstory, like his brother. He had like a twin brother or something like that, and his twin brother was like, "I'm pretty much sacrifice you. I want to become a superhero," but Bulletproof became a superhero, and his brother died or something, and it was crazy. So, but his backstory is pretty good. But while everything is happening, Dinosaurus, like, he does another crazy event where like he floods major city, like a bunch of major cities where a lot of people died and stuff like that, and there was like all this global catastrophe going on. Mark gets his powers back. He tries to confront Dinosaurus. They're fighting, and then you think like, so Dinosaurus smashes Mark's head, and everybody think he dies. So you're thinking, whoa, Mark just died. Turns out Dinosaurus like had a clone of Mark after he lost his power. He made a clone of him, made it seem like he died, and then he was like, yo, Mark, we could work together. Everybody think you dead. And Mark, like, he kind of talked no jutsu'd him, where it's like, oh, you didn't have to do this. So he pretty much got Dinosaurus to be like, all right, dude, you right, I'm wrong. I'm going to keep doing out-of-pocket stuff. You might as well kill me. And Mark kills him. I'm like, whoa. This is why I love Invincible. Batman or Superman wouldn't have done that. So, that happens. Mark starts working with Cecil. And then the next major arc, I would say, is probably the robot arc. So, we get, like, Robot's backstory. We see, what him and Monster Girl were doing in the other dimension, which was crazy. They were there for like, Monster Girl and Robot tells everyone, no, we were there for like 7 years, like, I don't know, 7 years or something like that. They were really there for like 700 years, like close to 1,000 years. So mentally, I'm like, yo, I couldn't have met, like, that's crazy. Like, being in another dimension for that long and coming back, that's wild. So they showed you kind of Robot taking over. Then eventually he starts doing some questionable things. Monster Girl betrays him. She betrays him. Robot gets locked up. Then while she's like doing her own thing in that other place, she has a kid with this alien girl. And I'm like, I thought Monster Girl was a girl. Supposedly when she turns into her monster form, she's a guy. Question mark. I don't know. But that happens. She has a kid. Robot, like, before Robot and Monster Girl go back to the real world and leave the dimension, he sent a team out to go, like, off him, which was crazy. I'm like, wow, all right, Robot not playing. So, fast forward, Angstrom comes back. Angstrom Levy comes back. He tries to pull up on Eve. He sends marks to the dimension, all the other marks that from the Invincible War were, and only like 2 of them alive. They were eating each other. I was like, whoa, this is serious. So regular Mark and the Mohawk Mark get back. Eve pretty much talks Angstrom down. He like, you know what? I'm wrong. I'm gonna give up. The Mohawk Mark grabbed Angstrom brings him to his dimension. He's like, yo, we know what to do with this guy. Crazy. Little bit of time passed. Robot's working like to find Angstrom Levy for Mark. So Robot and Mark go to the Mohawk Mark's dimension. They see the differences and stuff like that. They finally come across Angstrom Levy. And Robot kills the Mohawk Mark and Angstrom Levy at one time. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. He like chops Angstrom Levy's head off. He like blows the pause. He blows the Mohawk Mark's head off or something like that. It was crazy. So that happens, and he traps Mark in the other dimension. He goes back, tells everybody Invincible died. Mark works with the other robot in that dimension. He finally gets back to this world. Mark, he goes back to Eve. That's the first thing. He's gone for like months, something like that, like 6 months. Eve's pregnant at the time. So Mark get back. He said, "Oh, I'm back." Eve like, "Oh, all right." Like she was like pissed. She didn't really care. Like she cared, but he was gone for 6 months. Um, so Mark goes to tell Cecil. Robot pops up. He like, "Yo, Mark, you good?" Plays it off. Kills Cecil. I'm like, dang, Robot. He killed 3 like major characters in a short amount of time. So Robot goes on this whole like Star Wars. Like when they annihilated the Jedi, they like he was taking out a bunch of superheroes, and the ones he didn't kill, he locked them up. So Robot has the whole world on lock pretty much. And eventually that leads to Mark being like, all right, I'm just going to lead a planet. And I have never, there's been plenty of things I've watched and read where I'm like, yo, these characters are so tough, or this is crazy. They might as well lead a planet. This is the first time I've ever seen it done. I applaud that. I mean, Robot kind of ran him off the planet, but just leaving, I'm like, that being an option, interesting. So Mark, Eve, his daughter, they leave the planet. They go to another alien world. I'm like, dang, Robot won. This is crazy. Like all the other heroes, some heroes trying to fight him back, but like he had stuff on lock. And meanwhile, all this is going on. Thrag and Battle Beast are having like this epic fight. And this is one of the reasons why I started reading Invincible, because I seen a scene where, this is all spoilers. Thrag had Battle Beast like as a cape, like had his, whatever you call that, like he made Battle Beast into a cape. That's crazy. So they're having this epic fight. It was insane, very epic fight. I didn't know Battle Beast was Thrag level. Like they were going at it. And then Thrag won. He's wearing Battle Beast as a cape. That's crazy. Dude is an S tier aura farmer. So while he does that, and the same planet that Omni-Man went and had Oliver, he's on that Bug planet too, and he's trying to reinvent the Viltrum race with the bugs. I'm like, yo, these Viltrumites love they say, oh, you got an antler, you got antlers, I need that. So he's trying to rebuild the Viltrum Empire with the alien species. So he's having a lot of kids, and the bug aliens, they age fast. So that happens. That's what he's doing. Mark doesn't even want to like fight anymore. He just want to kind of be a family guy. Like, he's living with Eve and his daughter. He's being family guy. He starts doing a couple of missions for Alan, and then they like looking for Thrag, and he like stumbles upon this cave, and this like alien entity like latches on him or something, and it throws him back in time. So personally, I hate when characters go back in time, but I wasn't mad at this particular instance. But like usually when characters like go back in time and they got the knowledge that they had, I just don't really like that. I just don't like it. So he goes back in time, and then he's fixing a lot of stuff. He's doing a lot of good, and the alien comes back to him like, yo, you're gonna save billions and billions of lives. You want to stay here? And Mark like, nah, I got a family, no way. And the alien was like mad at him. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, you got a family, that's true. The alien like, you gonna sacrifice billions of lives? Mark was like, man, I'm not no hero. I was like, I like Mark, yo. He's a great main character, because most heroes or like protagonists don't carry it like that, and that was very realistic. And a lot of protagonists carry things unrealistically. Mark is a very realistic protagonist. He like, I'm not a hero. I want to get back to my family. So the alien mad, it brings him back to his normal time. So he goes back to his family. He pulls up. Finally flies back to the alien planet that he was on. And Eve, he like, yo, Eve, I'm finally back. He thinking it's minutes or like a couple weeks or something. he turns around, he's happy, all of this. He turns around, his daughter is 5 years old. He missed 5 years of his daughter's life being like when he went back in time. I was like, it was heartbreaking. It was like, wow, that's crazy. So he like broke in. He like, I'm not fighting again. All this stuff. Push comes like, of course he eventually fights again. He pretty much retired though. He like, he told everybody I'm not doing no superhero stuff anymore. Then Thrag. So it turns out Oliver, he looks like a full-fledged adult now. He's working with Thrag undercover though. Like he's playing double agent. Thrag like, yo, we going after him because Mark, Eve, and their daughter, what's her name, Tara? They live on a planet by themselves. They pretty much own a planet. Like that's their planet. Thrag pulls up on them. He sends some of his Viltrumite kids because they're aging fast, and he's training them to be Viltrumites. He sent them after Mark. So he sent two of his like best kids to go fight Mark to take him out. He tell Oliver, yo, if you're really with me, you won't do nothing. Of course, Oliver like, yo, that's my brother. No way. Pulls up. Mark and Eve getting like, they're beating Thrag's kids up, but then Thrag pulls up and it's like, sheesh, it's not good. So they get treated bad. Oliver pulls up, saves Mark's daughter, but Oliver gets killed. He Viltrumites love impaling people with their hands. That's what they did. I'm like, dang, Oliver's my favorite character. That's crazy. And he kills Eve and Mark too. But, Eve got that super rebirth power where it's like when she dies, she can like save people. So Mark gets almost ripped in half. Eve dies. Then that purple form comes. She brings herself and Mark back to life, but they're like, oh, we can't bring Oliver back though because it was too long. I'm like, that's crazy. So Mark's like, all right, we got to get our get back. Oliver had a funeral. Mark like, we got to get our get back. There's no way. And they eventually, what's the last part? Thrag, they're in a battle with Thrag, and they get Thrag and his forces get the upper hand. Like he has a lot of the Viltrumite kids, but he doesn't care about them. Like they're running into each other, killing themselves just to try to take out Mark and the coalition or who's with Mark. So they make a plan to go to Earth, and Robot has the kind of have Earth on lock. So even Robot has to help when Thrag is like getting close to Earth. So everybody's fighting. Omni-Man's fighting too. He led the Viltrumites to a whole new way. Like a lot of the Viltrumites love Earth and they got kids. Like they change people, but they still like to fight. So big final battle. Mark's fighting Thrag on the sun. That was epic final fight. They fighting on the sun. Their skin's falling off. Mark wins. And then he takes out Robot. He like, all right, I'm not like. Shortly after that, he takes Robot out. Omni-Man dies, which is crazy. That was insane. He had a great story though. Kind of definitely. I mean, he did a lot of bad stuff, but as much as he could have redeemed himself, he redeemed himself. And Mark becomes the leader of the Viltrumites. He got the cape on and stuff. Overall, I really enjoyed the story. There's a bunch of points I missed. It was amazing. I can't believe, turns out Invincible it was being written, the comic book went on from 2003 to 2018. I had no idea. Overall, I feel like my top three characters are Mark. Thrag was great villain. It might be Mark, Thrag, and it's between Omni-Man and Robot. Robot was a great villain. Like, you don't usually see villain, like, Robot was running things for a long time. Like, it might be those three. They might be my favorite three. But if I must rate Invincible from a scale of 1 to 10, it's at easily like a 9. I'm still, like, compressing all my ideas and stuff, like, thinking about everything that was going on. But it's like a 9 out of 10 series.